राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा कालचंदी राधा कालचंदी राधे। जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल। Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 Jayo Jayo Gurudev. Jai Gaur Premanande. Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jayo Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jayo Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jayo Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you, Prabhu, for the mridanga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Praying at the lotus feet of my spiritual master, our dear Srila Prabhupada, and all the Guru Vargas, may I speak few words in the glorification of our dear Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, none other than Sri Krishna himself. For the pleasure of the Vaishnavas and for my very own purification, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Mukum karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham bande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Kathanchana smite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhaved viparitam Vishmite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanya namami tvam. It says that, by remembering Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most difficult work becomes very easy, and the opposite happens if you forget him. To that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu I pay my obeisances. So we are in chapter, this is Chaitanya Charitamrit, chapter 8. This is the talks between the Lord and Ramananda Rai. And we are today on 29th. Before, it's been a week, so I thought we will just revise once. So what is happening now, Mahaprabhu comes to the banks, and then here he is chanting. And he was feeling so ecstatic, and that's when he sees a full, party of people headed by Rai Ramananda on a palanquin. He is coming. And as soon as he sees, he knows, Mahaprabhu knows it's Rai Ramananda because it's an internal, right? He knows him. But then it's an eternal relationship. But he didn't want to show his so much of ecstasy, as other day we were also discussing. That even if we may feel so ecstatic, we may not feel, we may not be appropriate sometimes to reveal our ecstasy in public. And so Rai Ramananda is there, and then Mahaprabhu is chanting and sees him, and he feels like embracing him immediately. But he knows he is a sannyasi, so he should be, behave inappropriate. He waits, and then Rai Ramananda comes down, and Rai Ramananda sees him, and he sees him as a tall personality, very, very beautiful, in orange cloth, and he falls flat, Dandavat. He falls flat like a stick in front of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu gets up and he asks, "Are you Rai Ramananda?" And he says, "Yes, I am." And then both of them hug each other, and they feel so ecstatic that they are about to faint. And what's happening by this time, that the Brahmanas, the caste Brahmanas, who were around Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're seeing, and they're getting amazed that this is a sannyasi, and he is embracing a so-called Shudra. And how is it possible? And Rai Ramananda, as a personality, is a very grave, very highly, in a society, in a social status, he is very high, and he is always grave, and he has a certain sort of a personality. He is not like that, but he is behaving like a mad person. What is it? They were very bewildered and confused right now where we are. But who senses it? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu senses it. And now what's happened from there, that's what we will see today. Just a quick, here, let me go back to the verse where, this is 23 text, where the verse reads, text 23, this is 8, text Madhya 8, text 23 says, Shobhavika prema dohar doe korila udoe korila duha alangiya duhe bhumite porila. Huh? It's okay, I'll hold it and say, Prabhu, we have wasted enough time. Yeah, it's okay. So what is it saying? That they each hugged each other, and then they fainted and they fell down to the ground. In the purport, if you see, Prabhupada is writing, Srila Ramananda Rai was an incarnation of the Gopi Vishakha. You may hear sometimes you may hear he was Lalita Sakhi, and sometimes, but we will take what Prabhupada says, he was Vishakha Sakhi. One of the most important gopis of, Radha and Krishna, especially Radharani. And Rai Ramananda was that, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So they are the best of, they are the best of friends. And when they see what happened when we see our best friend like so many years, though internally they are always connected, but physically when you see them, what happens? You are like, your joy knows no bound, you don't know where you are, you don't care where you are, you just feel like hugging. And you think of all the things that you had together in the past, and that's the happiness that comes, and that's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling with Vishakha Sakhi. Or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling with Rai Ramananda. And one more thing is that I have heard a few years back in a class where Prabhu was explaining why because Swarup Damodar was Lalita Sakhi, and Mahaprabhu would have heard from him back in Jagannath Puri. But why did he come all the way to Vishakha Sakhi or Rai Ramananda to hear the Krishna Leela? If you see the mood of Vishakha Sakhi and the mood of Srimati Radharani, there are technical terms like it says Bam Swabhava, Dan Swabhava, like that, like a left side mood, right side mood, and somewhere in the Madhyastha. So Vishakha Sakhi, like their mood, the way they cherish Krishna, if you see, Lalita Sakhi is very hot-tempered, and he chastises Krishna and tells Radharani what to do, what not to do. Vishakha Sakhi is in between, and Radharani is also in between, not to the extreme side of left or right. So that's why, because they have a similar mood, so he wanted to relish this particular, pastimes from Vishakha Sakhi, and that's one of the explanations. That's why he came all the way from Jagannath Puri to the south. And now Ramananda Rai gonna, pour his heart to Mahaprabhu. So we have heard, our verse for today is, so they fainted, so Mahaprabhu, he, got back to his senses, and then he is feeling little overwhelmed internally, but he's still controlled. And for the Brahmanas, because they were thinking, as I said, he thought, okay, he's a Shudra, he's a sannyasi, how is this happening? So the verse for today is 29. সুস্থ হইয়া দুহে সেই স্থানেতে বসিলা, তবে হাসি মহাপ্রভু কহিতে লাগিলা. When they regained their sanity, they both sat down, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and began to speak. Now in the Bengali it says shusto. Shusto in general Bengali means when you have a fever and then you feel better, then he said, have you become shusto? I mean, have you become okay, all right, well, are you better? So shusto. So, but here the word is used for, they regain their normal condition. They are no longer in their, I mean, they are always internally, but externally they have gained their consciousness. সর্বভৌমা ভট্টাচার্য কহিল তোমার শুনে গুণে তোমার মিলিতে মোরে করিল যতনে. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke of your good qualities, and he made a great endeavor to convince me to meet you. So we see Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got nothing to do here, right? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got nothing to do here. This was Rai Ramananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What does he has to do it? But because he is a pure devotee, he is a wonderful devotee, and the mood of a pure devotee, or a sincere devotee, I would say, is that Krishna should be pleased all the time. Whether I serve or anybody else serve, he should be served with the best, and he should be happy. Krishna should be pleased, whether I serve or anybody serves. So now that he was going there anyway, because we saw already Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fainted when Mahaprabhu was about to leave, or when he started leaving his house. He loved Mahaprabhu so much, and yet he wanted Mahaprabhu to have the association of Rai Ramananda. A sincere devotee is not scared that, if Mahaprabhu likes Rai Ramananda more, my importance will be less. He didn't care about it. He said, okay, when he is here, I am serving my best. But when he is there, he should be served still the best, whether I am there or not, whether my importance gets reduced or not. So that's what he said, that Mahaprabhu was mentioning, that how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took so much of endeavor, he tried so much to convince, please meet Rai Ramananda, please meet Rai Ramananda. And we have read how many verses were there where he was saying that he is amazing, he is amazing. I did not understand him because I thought Vaishnavas are not so great. But now that I have known you, you have convinced me into Vaishnavism, into personalism. Now I know how wonderful Vaishnavism is. And now I know how wonderful Rai Ramananda is. So please go and meet. So that's what Mahaprabhu is referring. And one more lesson as I'm reading to you is that Vaishnavas, to get the, to come into limelight, they don't cut other Vaishnavas' name or something. Mahaprabhu would have directly met and would have forgotten completely Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because they are Lalita Sakhi, they are Vishakha Sakhi and Radharani. But they did not forget Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, right? So, lesson there. Toma mili bare মোর এত আগমন ভালো হইল অনায়াসে পাহিলু দর্শন. Indeed, I have come here just to meet you. It is very good that even without making an effort, I have gotten your interview here. So he is saying that I had to come to you, but you have anyway come here. Onayash means without endeavoring too much for it, just naturally, onayash, like regularly, you appeared here, so that's good. Rai kohe Sarvabhauma kore britya gyan porokhe ho moro hite hoy sabodhan. Ramananda Rai replied, that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thinks of me as his servant. Even in my absence, he is very careful to do me good. So he is We see throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita how one devotee praises another and the one praises the other. It's like never boasting about themselves, like, you know what I did? You know, do you know about my glories? No, they are always busy, engaged in glorifying others. Like, you know, how wonderful that person served and how. So we see that first Mahaprabhu said about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They're still talking about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They did not immediately start about Krishna and Radharani and the Ras Leela, though there is nobody more qualified than them. But they still did not jump into this mood. I was recently here, we were reading and hearing Canto 3, where, thank you, Prabhu. This is still yeah, so where, you know, first Vidura meets Uddhava. And then Uddhava, Prabhupada writes that, you know, he didn't want to do, in Hindi it is also called, I don't remember, it's Maryada Vyatikrama, yeah, Maryada Vyatikrama, like where you jump over your seniors and you start talking. So, anyway, so you start talking. So Vidura asked actually Uddhava, because he directly heard from Krishna, so why don't you speak to me? And then he said, but he said, no, I would, you know, why don't you go to Maitreya? It's okay, Prabhu. Why don't you go to Maitreya? Because Maitreya is anyway close by, and he's senior to me. He didn't say exactly senior. He said, I need, because Lord gave him this service of going to Badrika Ashram to Uddhava. So he had to continue that, and also Maitreya was close by, and it was also appropriate that Maitreya speaks, because Maitreya was also there when Krishna was speaking. So he goes, and as soon as Vidura goes to Maitreya, he didn't immediately start saying, okay, talk about Krishna, talk about this. He says what is the general good for people, what is the best for people in general, and, you know, how can they get rid of their sins, etc. Everything else around. And then eventually they start speaking about Krishna. So we see that they immediately do not jump into the topic. And we see that, you know, they are glorifying. First they're setting up the mood, and then they will get into the deeper philosophy, which I don't know how much I can explain, but yeah. So Rai Ramananda is thinking that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a well-wisher for me. Tar kripaye painu tomaro darshan, aji safal hoilo mor manusya janam. By His mercy, I have received your interview here. Consequently, I consider that today I have become a successful human being. I think I would rather hold it. It's so annoying. So we can meditate a little upon it. It says that today I have become human being. So Vishaka Sakhi, if we think deeply, is saying, today I have become human being, seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes when Prabhupada keeps saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna, though heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name in our childhood, but he was respected, at least where I was brought up, he was respected as a saint, not as the personality of Godhead. So we heard about Krishna, we heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they are same. We didn't know it. We didn't hear Srila Prabhupada. So we grew up for very long knowing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a wonderful saint. But when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we hear Srila Prabhupada, these things, you know, the doubt takes time to go away because it's a childhood thing. So I feel very happy, and at the same time I remind myself that, okay, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same. So Vishaka Sakhi is saying, who is from Krishna Lila in Chaitanya Charitamrita to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Lila, that you were, you know, seeing you, I have become a human. Because I have got your darshan, now I have become a human. Moving on. সর্বভৌমে তোমার কৃপা তারো এই চিহ্ন অস্পৃশ্য স্পর্শিলে হইয়া তারো প্রেমাধীন. I can see that you have bestowed special mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Therefore, you have touched me. Although I am untouchable, this is due only to his love for you. Wow, it is so, it's like that mood of dasanu, 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 das. And here I had taken a note that devotees do not think they are special. Our speciality in thinking that we are not special. So he says that, see, I'm nobody special. I'm auspicious. Auspicious means untouchable, as we were discussing that. From mundane point of view, he is untouchable because he is a Shudra. He is not Brahmana, he is not Kshatriya, he is not Vaishya, he is a Shudra. And because he works for a government, works for the government. So anybody who works for anybody else, somebody else, they are Shudra. As we hear this time and again that everybody in Kali Yuga are Shudra. But it's our work, it's our what we practice, what our everything, by our work, by our karma defines what. But by birth we are all Shudras. But he is working for government, so he's calling himself Shudra. He's saying, I'm auspicious, I'm untouchable. But yet you touched me. Why did you touch me? Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya convinced you. Because you love Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya so much, Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai. Because you love Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya so much, and then, you know, it happens to us also. We love somebody, and they will, that person is so wonderful, and they will glorify them. And then eventually you have a natural love for them, natural sympathy for them, natural inclination towards them. So this is what is happening, and that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being told by Rai Ramananda, that I am nobody special, I am a Shudra. You are touching me because of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because you love him, you bestowed mercy upon him, and he convinced you, and that's why I am getting this mercy. Kaha tumi shakshat ishoro narayan, kaha mui rajo shebi boishoish shudradham. You are, okay, I'll speak the Bengali and then we'll go to the translation. Kaha tumi, where you are, Shakshat Ishwar Narayan, you are Narayan himself. Kaha mui, where am I? Like, kaha tumi, where you are, and kaha mui, where am I? Rajshevi, I'm a servant of the government. Servant of the government. Huh? Vishoi, I'm a materialist. Shudra dham, Shudra adham, that is, I'm the worst of the Shudras. So you are Narayan himself, you are the Lord himself, and I am Shudra, I am a servant of the government, and I am a Vishaya, I am a materialist. Translation, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan himself, and I am only a government servant interested in materialistic activities. Indeed, I am the lowest among the men of the fourth caste. So he is just saying things. When we read things like that, we should not think that he is the lowest of people and things like that. It is his humility, which we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also keeps saying, that he is the lowest, worse than you know what not. But what is our lesson is to learn what humility looks like. If he can say like that, what should we think of ourselves? More sporshe na korile grina bedo bhoy moro darshan toma bede nishedhoy. You do not fear the Vedic injunction stating that you should not associate with a Shudra. You were not contemptuous of my touch, although in the Vedas you are forbidden to associate with a Shudra because he is a sannyasi and he is a Brahman. He is the topmost of both the caste and the order. He is not supposed to be associating with a Shudra in any ways, and then what to speak of Shudra, he is touching him and hugging him and giving his mercy upon him. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:32, the Lord says, Mam hi partha vyapastriya yapi suya papayonaya striyo vaishyas tatha shudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Shudras, worker, can attain the supreme destination. The word Papayonaya means born of lower caste women. The Vaishyas are merchants, and the Shudras or workers are servants. According to Vedic classifications, they belong to a lower social order. A low life means a life without Krishna consciousness. The high and low position in society were calculated by considering a person's Krishna consciousness. A Brahmana is considered to be on the highest platform because he knows Brahman, the absolute truth. The second class, the Kshatriya caste, also know Brahman, but not as well as the Brahmanas. The Vaishyas and the Shudras do not clearly understand God consciousness, but if they take to Krishna consciousness by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master, they do not remain in the lower castes. Papayonaya. It is clearly stated, te api yanti param gatim. Unless one has attained the highest standard of life, one cannot return home back to Godhead. One may be a Shudra, Vaishya or woman, but if one is situated in the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness, one should not be considered Stri, Shudra, Vaishya or lower than Shudra. Though a person may be from a low-born family, if he is engaged in the Lord's service, he should never be considered to belong to a low-born family. The Padma Puran forbids vikshate jati samanyat sa yati narakam dhruvam. A person goes to hell quickly when he considers a devotee of the Lord in terms of birth. Although Sri Rai Ramananda Rai supposedly took birth in a Shudra family, he is not to be considered a Shudra, for he was a great advanced devotee. Indeed, he was on the transcendental platform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore embraced him. Out of spiritual humility, Sri Rai Ramananda presented himself as a Shudra, Rajashevi, Bishoi, Shudra Dhamma. Even though one may engage in government service or in any other any other pounds, shilling, pence business, in short, in materialistic life, he need only take to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a very simple process. One need only chant the holy name of the Lord and strictly follow the principles forbidding sinful activity. In this way, one can no longer be considered an untouchable, a Vishai or a Shudra. One who is advanced in spiritual life should not associate with non-devotees, namely men in government service and men engaged in materialistic activity for sense gratification or in the service of others. Such men are considered Vishai, materialistic. It is said, Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajano mukhasya param jigamisor bhavas saragas sagarasya sandarshanam vishainam athayon yoshitam cha ha hanta vikshanatopi asadhau. A person who is very seriously engaged in cultivating devotional service with a view to crossing the ocean of nescience and who has completely abandoned all material activities should never see a Shudra, a Vaishya, a woman. Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya, Nataka 823. So Prabhupada, he writes the things which would have created controversy and also creates. That's why I did not stop in the purport, because if I read half and I try to explain, I may mess it up. So Prabhupada himself raised the topic and he cleansed it off himself. So Prabhupada is given everything. He said, why women? If whether women or Vaishya or a Shudra, if we are Krishna conscious, we are none of it. So there's nothing, no confusion there, right? If you're a woman, you're Krishna conscious, you're much higher than a man who is not. So that ends that. And then also a servant of a government, if he is Krishna conscious, that's as glorious. Okay. Text 37. Is there any point that I missed in the purport? Is there anything? One who is in advanced spiritual life should not associate with non-devotees. That's what it is. Sorry? We don't take the whole world as one, or neither do we take ourselves one with Krishna, right? That's our whole. Okay. See, Krishna says that the entire world, like, everybody is part and parcel of me. That's what is in yeah. So we don't use the one because we are, at least I am afraid of the word one. So part and parcel of Krishna, right? We are still individuals. We are individuals, and Krishna is the supreme individual, and we are part and parcel of that supreme individual. So that is the main understanding. On that is the Bhagavad Gita understanding. Building on that, why do we consider some people non-devotee and some people devotee? So, non-devotees who do not consider themselves as Krishna, servant of Krishna. I also didn't know Krishna the way I am supposed to. That time I was non-devotee, now I am devotee. If you consider me to be a devotee. Okay, let me speak and then you come back with your question, right? So, see, how do we say? It is, entire world is, in a way or the other, whether today or yesterday or tomorrow will be a devotee of Krishna, eventually. So that way everybody is devotee of Krishna, okay? No,
in my understanding, everybody are already in Krishna.
How?
Because they belong to Krishna only, on the whole. If they agree or not agree also, it is the truth.
That's true, okay. So why do we call non-devotee?
My understanding is, Prabhupada or anything in that matter, I feel that people who are in singularity.
Okay, Mataji, let me come back, okay? If we see, we have to sometimes term few things for the sake of it, okay? Okay, we have to term few things. If you don't consider anybody as non-devotee, how do you bring them to Krishna conscious? If we keep thinking everybody is devotee, that is Uttama Adhikari. There's so much in it to it, right? So it is not such a shallow understanding that we understand this or that. There's so much of gray area in between. So if we think that everybody is devotee, that's why Uttama Adhikari cannot preach so much, because he thinks everybody is a devotee of Krishna. I am the worst of them. If I think like that, how am I supposed to go and preach anybody? Then I will think the entire world is, what you're saying is Uttama Adhikari understanding. How am I supposed to, if I think everybody is a devotee of Krishna, there will be no preaching at all. Then people will continue doing what they're doing, and they will never go back to Godhead. Why is Krishna in Bhagavad Gita saying they are most dear to me, the one who preaches these words of me? Okay. So I'll tell you one thing. You have a son and daughter. Krishna will take care of them anyway. Do you still cook for them? I mean, whoever cooks, your husband cooks, right? You feed them somehow or the other, whoever cooks at home. Somehow, even you bring them to temple, you feed them, right? Why? Yeah, either way, you feed them. Why? Krishna will anyway take care. Krishna is taking care of the ant that's crawling, the cockroach that is there, everybody. Prabhupada says the elephants who eat so much. Yes. You have a duty that Krishna gave you. So as a servant of Krishna, who are supposed to be devotee, we call ourselves devotee because we have a job. We have accepted the job of a devotee. Why? Not to get designation in the society, but to accept ourselves as a servant. And so what does, like the moment I say I'm a mother, it's not just a designation. The designation gives me lot of responsibilities. I have to take care of my child, take him to school, bring him back, and do so many things that a mother needs to do, at least the basics. Similarly, as a devotee, when we consider ourselves as a devotee, we have said, Krishna, okay, I'm your servant. What do we do next? Just eat prasadam and dance? No, we have other jobs too. Right? So like that, when we take any designation, that designation, any office, you go to office, you say, okay, I'm the manager of so-and-so company. Can you just sit and say, I'm the manager of so-and-so company and do nothing for the company? They will take us out of the company. Similarly, the moment we say we are a devotee, why do we consider this a humility to take a devotee service? Because the designation of a devotee, because we are considering ourselves as servant. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, we are not just, it's in Bhagavatam purport, we are not just servant of Krishna, we are servant of every living being, including the ant, what to speak about human being. Yeah, then. It is calling them non-devotee. This is for the sake of... that is means it's no, people, I have heard big preachers, they said, you don't take their association, you give their association. Okay, you tell them about Krishna. Don't hear them how they eat, marry, have fun in their life on their weekends. We don't want to hear that. Why we don't want to hear that? Because when you keep hearing about Krishna, one thing, you lose your interest in other things. And the second thing, you might become like that. You may forget Krishna and get back to back to square one. So this is the two thing. It is not because of we think of ourselves superior and that's why, oh, they're, less of a people and I'm superior. As I said, devotee is the most, you're taking the most degraded job if you want to take it because you are saying you are a servant of everybody for that matter. Every living entity, you are a servant of every living entity. So you are a devotee. Devotee is not a high standard. In the book, why it says non-devotee is because you have to distinguish. You have to, how do you, articulate it if you don't write few things? If you don't write fall down, if you don't write conditioned, how do you articulate? How do we understand things? For that sake, we write devotee, non-devotee. On the in the best circumstance, everybody is in the highest platform. Everybody, to Uttama Adhikari's eyes, everybody is a devotee. But from a Madhyama Adhikari, that is our service as a Krishna's devotee, to preach everybody. Right? Jive Shwarupa and Krishna Nitya Das. We are the eternal servant of Krishna. Somehow got by the mercy, not somehow, by the mercy of Krishna and the Vaishnavas, somehow we have remembered it. By our great fortune, somebody yet to remember it. So they are not exactly non-devotees, they are yet to remember that they are devotees. That is what. But if they write so long that they are yet to remember they are not devotees or something like that, the book will be, how voluminous it is. Yeah, that's if, okay, thank you. I don't have any more time, so you want to say something, Prabhu? You can go ahead, please. You can correct me. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Desires.
One who desires to indulge into stool-like activity, which is eating flesh and having intoxication, bleach. So that's how this particular thing started. Since the foreign days. Before that, we never had. You see, today is Vijayadashmi, right? So Lord Ram, right? Lord Ram had friendship with the Hindus, with foreign world, and Shabri, that particular pastime, Shabri pastime, where Lord Ram ate
Bear.
the remnants of Shabri, right? The bear. And we have also there was several examples where there is you won't find a single instance where there is untouchability. This was
We see Vidura, Krishna ate prasadam at Vidura's place. Krishna took prasadam at Vidura's place.
yeah. You will find a number of such examples.
Yeah.
So this untouchable word can be misunderstanding because that system existed there, where Varnashram had become corrupt because of the foreign. That's what I wanted to say.
You should have taken the mic, Prabhu. That is a long explanation. I cannot repeat. But yeah, Prabhu was, Gokulananda Prabhu was explaining how Shudras, untouchable. This system of untouchability was introduced into our Vedic culture, and because of the invasion of the foreigners. Yeah, it was, how it got into, yeah. Vedic culture never had the Shudra or untouchable, any concept of untouchability. But because of the invasion, we had so many times, so much invasion, and eventually it was introduced. Anything else you said, Prabhu? Anything else, Mataji? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Please forgive me for the mistakes that I have committed. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki.